What's up guys, it's Procast here. I'm doing my Malacoda Burning Abyss deck profile for the April 1st format. Originally I made this for the January format where preparation and rights and tour guide was at 3, and the deck was actually surprisingly really good, because if you open up with tour guide, preparation and another Burning Abyss monster, you can make summon Malacoda with the Diginlock, and it was actually pretty strong against like first turn against Necros and the mirror match. Anyway, so I'm just going to go straight into the deck profile. I played 2 Malacoda with Burning Abyss. Pretty much, if you can't play 1 because you need it at least 1 copy in your graveyard and 1 copy in your deck most of the times. You can't play 3 because you don't want to draw it into your hand. The reason why you want to play 2 to have 1 in the graveyard and 1 in your hand is if 1's in your graveyard, you can add it back to your hand with Dante, and if 1's in your deck, you can then add it back with Preparation Rites, and then adding the Ritual spell from your graveyard to your hand. This card is more of a mid-game / late-game card with a Diginlock, just because it isn't as consistent to get it out with a tour guide being at 1 and Preparation Rites being at 1 as well. His other effect isn't really that common unless you're like pitching Sir to get out Virgil from your graveyard, and just to get over like stronger monsters. So you only really just play it just for the Diginlock. For the 3-ofs, I'm playing the 3 Graph, 3 Sirs, and then 3 Scums. This should never change in Burning Abyss. Graph will always special summon from your deck, Sir will always special summon from your graveyard, and Scum will always search a level 3 Fiend. Because the whole guide went to 1, now what you can do is add the Djinn Releaser of Rituals, or Rubik, so you can make Virgils on your next turn, or you can activate the Ritual spell card if you activated release of Djinn Releaser of Rituals, so you can make the Diginlock next turn. So Scum is still very important. For the 2-ofs, you're playing 2 Kagna. Kagna is really good in this variant because you can send the Ritual spell to the graveyard, so you can add it back to your hand with Dante, or you can add it back with Preparation Rites after you search out your Malacoda. I'm playing then 2 Farfas. Farfa is very good because it banishes you can banish a monster really. So if you add it with Engineer, you can just banish your opponent's Necros monster so they can't go into their rank 4s. And then, or in your turn, you can use Farfa to banish like your opponent's Ritual monster that also has the Diginlock on you. Then playing 2 Libics. Libics is really good because when your tour guide went to 1, I replaced the other 2 tool guides with Mathematician. So if you have no other play, you can just go Mathematician into Libic's effect to special summon a Burning Abyss monster from your hand, which allows you to go into another rank 3 without the Burning Abyss monster dying. And it's also very good because when you have try and span the field, if you mill a Libic, you can then make in more like XC plays, which is pretty cool. And then playing the 2 Rubiks, Virgil's still very important. I would always try to make Dante and Virgil, just because if Virgil ever went to shore, you can always get it back with Sir. And because having double Dante isn't really, I don't know, I find that double Dante doesn't really do much anymore against like most decks, unless you have a Fire Lake set. Yeah, I actually made a mess here. For the non-Burning Abyss cards, I am playing the 1 Tour Guide of the Underworld and double Mathematician. I don't know where my second Mathematician is, I think I sold it. So pretty much, because Tour Guide went to 1, what you would do is summon Mathematician, get out Graph dies, get out Scum, and so in your end phase you can search out your only copy of Tour Guide, which you can use on your next turn. That, or you can send Libic if you already milled a Tour Guide to special summon a Burning Abyss from your hand. Replacing the 2 Tour Guides with Mathematician, in my opinion, is actually some of the better options because it just makes your deck slightly more consistent. You can keep more cards in your hand for your ritual plays, and yeah, just more of a grindish game, because otherwise you will like sort of burn all your resources quite fast. And the last 2 cards are the 2 Djinn Release of the Rituals. When I made this list in January, I was playing the other one from Duelist Alliance that protected your card from card effect. It worked pretty well, except for when you're against the Necros, because they always use Book of Eclipse to like flip it over anyway. But you still want to play the 2 Djinn Release of the Rituals, because you can always banish both of them to summon Malacoda, and it's just an easy free summon for the Diginlock. Yeah, and it just makes him playing Malacoda actually just that much more worth it, because it can prevent your opponent from special summoning. That's it for the monsters. For the spell cards, I'm playing the 2 Good and Evil of the Burning Abyss. You need to play 2, just because if 1's in your graveyard, you can then banish it and discard another Burning Abyss monster to add a Burning Abyss card from your deck to your hand, so you can add Malacoda if you had the second one in your hand, or you can add like Rubik, or you can add like anything you have, like even Fafa really. Yeah, and you just use it to special summon your Malacoda from your hand. Then playing the 1 preparation of rights. This actually had the deck, like when you had 3 preparation of rights, this deck was amazing, cause with 3 Torgas as well. Like you can just make the Malacoda lock like turn 1 with like double Dante, and still have like 5 cards. Yeah, and it's still a very good top deck if you still have the 1 Malacoda in deck with a field spell in hand, so you can just top deck into preparation rights and go for a quick lock. For the one I was playing, Dark Hole, Rogeki, Book of Moon. This is just cards to get rid of your opponent's Digin lock. If I owned a Crush card, I would replace it with Dark Hole, but I don't, so Dark Hole's in here instead. Then you have the 1 Foolish Barrow. Foolish Barrow is still amazing because it just like sets up so many plays. And then the last 2 cards are the 2 Mystical Space Typhoons. The deck space in this deck's pretty tight, so having 2 Mystical Space Typhoons is fine because you don't really need it against the Clapper match, which you can decide on more cards for really. For the trap card, I'm playing the 1 Fire Lake. It's still a good card that you can send to the graveyard with Kagna, and it can just wreck some Clayforts. The 1 Emptiness. I don't mind this card going to 1 because it's still a good floodgate. Then 2 Mistakes. This just helps against the Necros match. All you really search in this deck is with Scarm and the Burning Mist Ritual spell card, and even then it does not really it doesn't happen that much. And then the last 2 cards are the 2 Mind Crush. I'm not playing Phoenix Wing Blast because I don't really in this variant the discard traps aren't really that essential, and Mind Crush is just good against your Necros match because it's kind of one of your hardest matches. That's it for the trap cards. For the extra deck, I'm playing the 3 Dante. Dante is just good to set up your graveyard, and then during your mid and late games you'll start moving towards Virgil, because Virgil's this is actually the card I just seem to see how you win with Burning Abyss. Because Virgil's effect which just allows you to discard a Burning Abyss card to return a monster from your opponent's side of the field or graveyard back into the deck, which is amazing just to like clear their field and go for some pretty strong OTKs. For everything else, I'm playing the 2 Downer Magician. You can play 3 if you want, but like most of the time you just go into like 2 down it, so your Dante doesn't get returned to the extra deck from like Bryonic or something. 1 Leviathan Dragon to get over like Dark Law. 1 Alucard. I still like Alucard against those random matches where you just want to clear your opponent's back row before you start doing anything too important. 1 has a Golem, just to clear things and to do for that OTK. 1 Zen Mines to get over some Necro cards. Giga Brilliant to power everything up. Nightmare Shark to like just 2 games. Levia to get back your Djinn Release of Rituals. Because when the Djinn Release of Rituals in your graveyard and you banish it, you can then get it back with Levia if you really wanted to, so you can go for another Djinn lock if you still have the resources. Then the last card is an Engineer, which I can't find because I thought it was my Giga deck, which it isn't. Engineer is just really good because you make this with like Fafa underneath, so during your opponent's turn you can just use Engineer's effect, switch it to defense mode, detaching Fafa to banish your opponent's monsters so they can't go into like XE plays, which is really good. Anyway, so this was my Malacoda Burning Abyss deck profile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Remember to comment below in the description below, or in the area below if you have any questions. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos. This is Pro Custard signing out.